Hey everyone, Rob the Average Lawn Guy. Welcome back to the channel. For those of you who are new here, this is where I try to simplify lawn care in order to make your life easier. In order not to miss out on any of this, subscribe now, hit that notification bell. Ooh, springtime is here and it's starting to warm up very nicely. The grass is starting to come alive, it's waking up out of its winter dormancy. Time to plant some flowers, time to get out into the yard and do some work. But in this video, I wanted to focus on one thing, and that's raised garden beds. Last year I had a raised garden bed and I had 2 tomatoes, 2 lettuces, 1 bell pepper and 1 hot pepper. Now, this is one of those things that you have to make a mistake in order to learn from it. And one of the things I've learned is that tomato plants need a lot of room. So this prompted me this year to actually expand on my garden bed. So this year I went from having 1 raised bed to having 9 raised garden bed, and I'm going to show you the process on exactly how I created this. It is much more easier than you think. For me, one of the easiest way to go about this is to find an area in your yard somewhere close to the fence where there's a lot of sun. Once you identify the area that you want to have your raised bed in, what you want to do is lay out a landscape fabric. When you lay out a landscaping fabric, you're going to do 2 things. First, you're going to suffocate the grass that's going to be there. You don't want any grass to grow in there. Second, by putting down the landscape fabric, you're going to avoid having to deal with too much weeds, or in my case, Bermuda grass, trying to push through into the garden bed itself. So landscape fabric is a must. Now I realize in some parts of the country people have to deal with rats or moles coming up from underneath, and if that's your case, you might have to put some type of metallic sheeting underneath or on top of the landscape fabric, but that's not in my case. In my case right now, all I did is put down landscape fabric. What I ended up doing is purchasing these raised beds. They're made of metal and they're supposed to be rust resistant, and they last much longer. They're a little bit on the pricier side, but I chose to go with this method versus using regular wood, which will rot over time. Some beds are better than others, but I'm going to recommend 2 that I've used that I'm really impressed with. They're from the company Straco, if I'm pronouncing it right. This raised bed had a nice balance between cost and quality. Once I laid down my landscape fabric, the next thing I did is put down my borders. I chose a rubberific landscape border in order for the mower to actually have easy access to mow right up along the edge. What you want to do is assemble your raised beds. Once that's done, you just lay it down where you want it to be. Once you lay down your beds, what you want to do is align it in such a way where you'll be able to get easy access. Once you lay it down, you're not supposed to move it anymore. What you want to do next is fill it with raised garden bed soil. Not potting soil, not garden soil. You want to use raised bed soil. You can find that at any local store. Just make sure it's made for raised beds. Once that's done, you put down your raised bed soil, and then you go ahead and put down some type of material that's going to be around the beds. The type of material you want to use is really depending on you. You can use anything from pine straw, wood mulch, but I chose to use marble rocks for 2 reasons. I'm not going to have to worry about replacing this over time. It's really there for life, so once you set it down, you're not going to have to worry about replacing it. Unlike wood mulch, which will blow away in the wind, or pine straw, which will degrade over time, I chose the rocks because the rocks will give me a cleaner look, and when there's leaves in the fall, I'm able to blow on the rocks very easily in order to get the leaves off. Guys, it's super easy to do. You can grow your own vegetables. In this garden here, I have 2 batches of strawberries. I have carrots that I planted. I have 4 bell peppers. I have 2 hot peppers. I have 2 tomato plants. I have cantaloupes that I'm trying to grow from seed, and so far only 1 has sprouted, which is really good. Surprisingly, I'm kind of experimenting with the cantaloupe. And I also planted a grape plant. Now this grape plant is not going to come into season this year. It actually needs a whole growing season in order to establish itself. But you can see here I have the grape plant along with the trellis lined up. Over time you're going to notice the plant start to climb up onto the trellis. Now over here I have the gutter down sprout that's coming out away from the foundation. Now leave me a comment below if you have any suggestion on what to do with this area here. I chose to do a downsprout extender to extend it out past the border in order to dump the water when it rains. I can't think of anything else I can do here besides burying the pipe and establishing the French drain in order to pull the water away to another location. Besides that, I can't think of anything else. So if you have an idea on how to make this look a little better, feel free to drop it in a comment below. So whether you choose to build 1 raised bed or multiple raised garden beds, it is super easy to do. You can grow your own vegetables, you can grow your own fruits, and you know what you're putting into your own body. So highly encourage you to get into it if you have the room. Hope you found this video useful, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later.